Hey friends, I am so excited to start my new composition art journal. If you didn't catch my last video, I showed how I prepared this composition notebook to create this art journal. And I did it all in about 5 hours and created 44 layouts. And the idea was that it would just jumpstart my art process so that for the next few months, I can just open up a page and I've already got something to start with. I don't know if I'll love this process or not, because sometimes when I start with a background, I just want to keep going. And so I had to kind of force myself not to do that when I prepared the journal. And now I flip through the pages and I flip to some of the pages and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to do that one. I already have ideas. And some of them I'm like, ooh, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. But that's part of the challenge. That's part of the fun. So this is my first page that I'm working on, and started with some stencils. I got that stencil at Hobby Lobby recently. This is some just basic acrylic paint that I had in my stash. I think this particular one is discontinued, so I won't bother posting a link to that, but you can find something very similar, I'm sure, if you like the color. And I was just playing with the palette knife. I accidentally got too much paint on my little tray there when I was stenciling. So I thought, well, what else can I do with it? And I just grabbed the palette knife and drizzled it around the page, and then just kind of dragged the corner of it to make those lines. It was very fun. I highly recommend it. So this little thing that I'm stamping with, I found at the Goodwill outlet. It's some kind of children's toy. I don't know exactly what it is, but I turned it into a stencil. It works. And this is one of those little foam dabbers that people often use for like chalking or stamping with some distressed ink. I like to make sure I dry in between layers just to avoid any big smudges. Then I got some scrapbooking supplies out and decided to go with some triangles here. I wanted to add a few more layers. I tend to do a lot of doodling, which is fine, but I wanted to add something to this page. So I love these gold stripes. I like anything shimmery. I'm kind of like one of those, shiny things people. So I'm just playing around with different positions. I like triangles. I like threes, odd numbers, those kind of rules that you can always break, but tend to be pleasing to the eye. So I'm just arranging them in different ways. As you can tell, like the triangulation even of the placement that I have them right now. But I'm not done. I'm still kind of just, do I like it there? I didn't like the white on the white background. I wanted it to pop out a little bit better, so I moved it over here to the orange. And I definitely like that much better. So I'm just gonna trim some of them down to make them a little bit more narrow and go ahead and glue those down. So do you see how the groupings are odd numbers? And no, I take that back. I have 4 on the bottom. But the groupings form a triangle too. So that's just one of those compositional things that helps balance a page. And I saw this quote that I liked. It's all the flowers of tomorrow are in the seeds of today. I remember one time it was late at night and I looked at my messy kitchen and I did not feel like doing the dishes. And when you're an adult, you get to make up your own rules. I don't really have to do the dishes. But I thought to myself, you know what? Tomorrow me would really appreciate waking up to a nice, clean kitchen. So I'm going to do something nice for tomorrow me. And lo and behold, I did. The next morning I woke up and I came down and I looked at my clean kitchen and I thought, aw, yesterday me was so thoughtful to make a nice, clean kitchen for today. Anyway, so that's why I like that quote, is that we need to plant seeds today that will turn into something good in the future. So this was kind of spontaneous with my little fingerprinting because I actually accidentally stuck my hand in the pink ink off the page and made the first blob by accident. And then I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. So I just grabbed my finger. I guess I can't really grab my finger. It's attached to me, and just did a little finger painting. So that was fun. And these are acrylic-based markers here. They're acrylic paint pens that I got from Temu that I use quite a bit, that I really like. And also I'm using Posca pens, which, haven't failed me yet. I usually find that if I use white or black or both to create extra pop and contrast on a page, it just makes everything look better. So I got my little handy dandy white Posca pen. And when I'm making like a mandala, which is what these little things are, I've learned that if you want to get real technical, you can use your compass to make sure that the circles are the concentric circles are nice and even. However, I didn't use the one there, but I did mark off even spaces just to kind of help with the consistency. So I'm just making marks wherever, whatever seems to need a little bit of white, a splash of white. And then I grab my turquoise. I guess that's the right color. Is that turquoise? Yeah. Just filling in my little botanical leaves there. And then I felt like I needed something on the other page as far as words or sentiment. And I thought, to go with my quote, I added plant seeds. So it was kind of a reminder to myself to be planting seeds for tomorrow. So I felt like my quote needed a little bit more to pop off the page. So I just went in with a black Sharpie and added a little bit more shading. So as I was wrapping up with my little doodles, I noticed that this section right up there just seemed to be missing something. So I needed a little bit more pop, a little more contrast. So I got out my black Posca pen, and I also went over some of the lines that I made with the black Sharpie because the Posca pen just seemed to fill more completely. And so there was just some areas that needed a little bit of black. And you can't go wrong with dots, right? It's always my go-to. I guess I have a lot of go-tos. I say that a lot. Maybe my go-tos change all the time. Depending on what I'm most recently into. Well, this is my finished page. I hope you enjoyed watching the process. And just like my quote says, I hope that you will plant some seeds for tomorrow. It reminds me also of the quote from Confucius. Say the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, and the next best time to plant a tree is today. Kind of goes along with this quote of, investing in your future. So go make some art and come back and join me.